So why is this cold call so important? Have I convinced you yet? I don't think I have, okay? Look, if the cold call didn't work, nobody would ever make them, and we wouldn't even be talking about them. Do you understand? There would be nothing written about, cold calls are dead, or never make a cold call, or cold calls. Dude, look, none of this would exist. We wouldn't even be talking about it. I mean, we wouldn't have telephones if they didn't connect you to people successfully. If a cold call was easy, people would not even be talking about this. If this was easy, there wouldn't be any money in it. If it was easy, somebody else would be doing it for you and there wouldn't be an opportunity for you. The fact is, the cold call is not easy. And few people take the time to learn how to master that call. So what they do then is they do what any loser does. I know, I'm talking from personal experience. When I lose, I make up a reason why it wasn't worth it anyway, like a little kid. Hey, mommy, can you give me some candy? Please, mommy, please, mommy, please, mommy. Oh, I really want the candy. I really want the candy. She says no over and over and over. And the next thing you know, you're crying about, I didn't want it anyway. Man, grow up, man. See, that's what people do with a telephone. That's what people do in the attempt of any target or goal. They basically make the target wrong when they can't achieve it. That's a great question for this course. They basically make the target wrong when they're unable to achieve it. They make the call wrong because they never got good at making the call. The benefits of making cold calls are freaking unbelievable. They're tremendous. And they can literally take a startup company or an idea, a brand, a value, a person, and accelerate it into hypergrowth at a very low cost. In fact, no cost in money, but tremendous investment in guts, resources, energy, and creativity. Cold calls can pierce through obscurity and get you in front of a decision maker who would otherwise never ever know about you, never know about your product, never know about your company. Look, I've made cold calls where people are like, man, I'm so glad you called me today. Can't believe you called me. I've had people tell me this, how do you make calls like this? I bought a $60 million piece of property on a cold call. That's unbelievable, right? And I see people say, cold calling doesn't work, and he's selling a $15 book. I'm like, man, look, I bought a $60 million piece of property, and nobody knew me before I made the call. Look, you don't have to look very far to hear people who's going to tell you cold calling's dead. It's bull. And if I wasn't doing this for mass dissemination, I would tell you what kind of bull it really is. All right. Here's 3 reasons why the cold call is so valuable if I haven't convinced you already. Number 1, it's cost effective. In fact, the cold call is 6 times more effective than any type of advertising or mail out campaign. Salesforce.com says that the phone call costs an average of $33 versus a field call. I drive out there and do it in person. I talked about that earlier. You're going to drive to go see somebody. That call costs $276 on average. And a telephone call, one call costs $33 in time. Probably costs $33 because you guys make so few of them. I can make so many of them that I can drop my cost down, right? Because my cost per hour to sit in a chair is minimal. So the more calls I make, the more I diminish that cost. Number 2 reason you'd want to make cold calls, it saves time. There's no need for driving around, doing tremendous amounts of research, stalling, putting off, organizing, preparing, pick up the phone and make the call. I did this last week. Every week we do a show. It's a live webcast where we show our clients that are on our online platforms how to keep using the platform successfully. And last week, it was the end of the month, I dropped in. We're doing a live webcast. It was 12 o'clock during the day. We stream out live to give our clients support. If you're not watching that every week, you should be. And it was the end of the month, and I said, look, the only thing I'm going to explain to you today is this. It's the last day of the month, and I'm going to show you how to get some business. Post in comments below a phone number of a client that was interested in your product and you didn't close. And I basically started calling people. And when I called them, was that call cold? Is it cold? I've never talked to them. They don't know me. They weren't expecting my call. The first person I called, hey, John, my name's Grant. I called for my cell number. I'm calling because you were at this company and you didn't buy their product and I want to know why. And the guy says to me, you want to know why? I said, yeah, I want to know why. And he says, because I'm 17 hours away. If I was there, I would buy it. That was my first call live from a guy I didn't know, product I don't know anything about, and all I did was make the call, all right? So it was a big time saver at a very low cost. Number 3 reason you want to make calls, preemptive. A cold call, an initiation call, when I'm reaching out to touch someone, if you will, puts me in control of initiating a sales cycle rather than waiting for it to happen to me. You don't have to wait for people to come to you if you have the guts, the scripts, the resources, the training, the education, and the see-through to say, hey, I'm not going to wait for them to come to me. I'm going to reach out and touch them, and I'm going to do it with a phone. Maybe I'm going to do it with a piece of mail. Maybe I'm going to do it with email. Maybe I'm going to do it with mail, email, and a phone call to follow all of them up. Maybe I'm going to introduce myself with a phone call and come back in and follow it up with another cold call. By the way, that follow-up would be a cold call. Not just the introduction, not just the email, right? They're all basically cold because they don't know they're coming. The cold call allows you to crash through obscurity, make a brand known. It empowers you as a salesperson, as a sales manager, as a business owner, as a leader in your company, as a leader in the company. The ability for me to go pick up a phone from my sales staff or my accounting department, okay, or my executive team or my PR company, and I walk into my PR company and say, hey, I'll call NBC right now, I'll call ABC, I'll call CBS, I'll call Wells Fargo, empowers me as a business owner to say, hey, I believe in my company, I believe in my product, I believe in our idea, and I'll call anybody about it. You give me God's number, and I'll call him today, because I am looking forward to meeting him, and I don't want to wait till then. All right? The cold call, you need it. It's absolutely necessary. Quit having anybody convince you that it's not necessary. You get to crash through obscurity, empower you, build your courage, and put you in control of a selling cycle that might not exist if it weren't for this call.